The master caution light floods the cockpit amber at 37,000 feet. Captain Elise Hart's hands don't shake. They never do. The left engine temperature gauge spikes past red line, metal screaming where no one can hear it. Engine 1 failure, her co-pilot Noah Pierce announces, voice cracking on the last syllable. 27 years old, 4,000 hours, never seen death walking up the aisle. Elise reaches for the throttles. Her breathing shifts, 4 counts in, 4 counts hold, 4 counts out, 4 counts wait. The kind of rhythm they don't teach at civilian flight schools. Behind them, 236 souls, veterans heading home for Christmas, military families, a high school robotics team clutching their national trophy. Midwest 718 declaring emergency, Elise says. Her voice carries something Noah can't place, not fear, something harder. The aircraft shudders. In economy, someone screams. Elise's fingers find the engine restart checklist, but she's not reading it. Her eyes track something else, patterns in the failure, signatures in the shake. This isn't random. She's seen this death before. Captain? Noah's watching her face, not the instruments. She keys the intercom. 236 people need her voice to be God right now. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain. We're dealing with a technical issue. I need you to listen to your flight attendants. In 12 minutes, they'll understand who's really controlling their fate. The Boeing 737 lurches left. Asymmetric thrust wants to flip them into a death spiral. Elise's right boot presses the rudder pedal, holding them straight. Her porcelain skin stays pale, no flush of panic. Those green eyes read instruments in a sequence Noah doesn't recognize, not the standard scan pattern from flight school. Restart attempt 1, Noah calls out, fingers on the ignition switch. Negative. Elise's hand stops him. Listen to the vibration pattern. The aircraft trembles through their seats, a specific rhythm. 3 beats, pause, 2 beats. Compressor stall signature, she says. Restart will make it worse. Noah's never heard that term outside military aviation forums. How do you secure the engine? Full shutdown sequence. He obeys. The captain's seat is adjusted strangely, not for comfort, but for something else. Maximum stick authority, the kind of position you need when pulling 9 Gs. In the cabin, head flight attendant Sonia Chen appears at the cockpit door, her uniform crisp despite the fear underneath. Captain, passengers are asking, brace positions in 5 minutes, Elise cuts her off. Not standard civilian. Tell them heels back, heads between knees, hands locked behind necks. Sonia blinks. That's combat crash position. Captain, our manual says, do it. The flight attendant disappears. Through the reinforced door, they hear her voice, steady but urgent, directing 236 people towards survival positions no commercial passenger should need. Noah watches Elise work. She's not flying by the book anymore. Her left hand grips the yoke at exactly 8 and 4 o'clock. Maximum leverage position. Her right hand hovers over throttles, fingers spread in what pilots call piano position. ATC, Midwest 718, requesting vectors to nearest suitable, Noah transmits. 718, turn right, heading 090, descent to flight level 240, Kansas City International in 43 miles. Elise shakes her head once. A small motion, but decisive. Unable Kansas City, she says. Noah stares at her. KCI has 12,000 feet of runway. Every protocol says go there. Captain, that's our best. Check our weight. Check our single-engine performance. Check the terrain between here and there. He runs the calculations. His tablet shows the performance curves. They're heavy. Full passenger load, cargo, fuel for another 2 hours. The remaining engine is a CF M56-7B24, rated for 24,000 pounds of thrust at sea level. Up here, in thin air, it's producing maybe 60%. The math turns cold in his stomach. We won't maintain altitude, he realizes. We'll be in the rocks before Kansas City. Elise's voice stays clinical. We need something closer. Through the cockpit windows, white cloud streams past. Below them, the Midwest sprawls in geometric patches of brown and gold. Somewhere down there, 236 families are about to get phone calls that will either destroy them or give them the best Christmas gift possible. 718, say intentions, ATC prompts. Elise scans her chart. Not the electronic one. She's pulled out a paper sectional, the kind nobody uses anymore. Her finger traces airports, measuring distances with practiced ease. She stops at a small blue circle. Request vectors to Whiteman. Noah checks his display. Whiteman Air Force Base. Joint use facility, 6,000 feet of runway. That's really short for our weight. It's what we can reach. In row 12, James Brennan shifts forward. 71 years old, Navy veteran, 3 carrier deployments. Through the gap where the flight attendant passed, he caught a glimpse of the captain, the way she sits, the way her hands move, the breathing pattern. He's seen it before, in pilots who've trapped on pitching decks at night. He unbuckles despite the warning lights, moves to an empty first-class seat where he can see better. The flight attendants are too busy preparing the cabin to stop him. Through the cockpit door's narrow window, he watches Captain Hart work. There's something about her economy of movement. No wasted energy. Every action deliberate. The way her head barely moves while her eyes scan. That's combat-trained situational awareness. His son flew Hornets off the USS Nimitz. Died in a training accident 5 years ago. Bad parts in the engine, they said later, after the investigation. But first, they blamed the pilot. Brennan knows what a cover-up looks like. The plane banks right. Gentle for the passengers, but Brennan feels the precision in it. She's not just turning, she's managing energy, trading altitude for airspeed in exact ratios. His son used to talk about it, energy management, the difference between life and death when you only get one shot at the deck. Ladies and gentlemen, the captain's voice fills the cabin. We're beginning our descent. I need everyone in brace position as instructed. Flight attendants, prepare for landing. No mention of emergency, no panic, just facts. But Brennan hears something else in that voice. A particular cadence, the way she clips certain words. Navy pilots all develop it, the rapid-fire communication style needed when you have 2 seconds to call the ball. He pulls out his phone, types a quick message to his daughter. If something happens, know I love you. Then he adds, but I think we have an angel flying this plane. Back in the cockpit, the right engine temperature gauge creeps up. Still in green, but climbing. Right engine temp increasing, Noah reports. Elise already sees it. Her fingers dance across the overhead panel, adjusting bleed air, reducing the load. The temperature stabilizes but doesn't drop. How long, Noah asks. 20 minutes, maybe 25. White man is 18 minutes. I know. She reaches behind her seat, pulls out her flight bag to grab a fresh checklist. Something falls out, a worn leather wallet. It flops open on the center console. Inside, barely visible, a photograph. 2 young pilots in flight suits, standing in front of an FA-18 Super Hornet. They're grinning, arms around each other's shoulders. Noah glimpses it before Elise snatches it back, but he sees her expression change, just for a second. Pain flashing across those green eyes before the wall comes back up. Focus on the approach, she says, stuffing the wallet away. Captain, those pilots in the photo are dead. Focus on keeping these passengers alive. The temperature gauge ticks up another degree. Outside, the clouds part. The ground rises to meet them. Not the flat farmland anymore, but rolling hills, the Ozark Plateau beginning its climb. If they lose the second engine here, there's nowhere to put down but forest and rock. 718, descend and maintain 16,000, ATC instructs. 718 descending to 16,000, Noah confirms. Elise pulls the throttle back incrementally, not the standard 3-degree descent. She's coming down steeper, faster, trading altitude for energy while she still has control. It's aggressive. It's also smart. Midwest 718, be advised, military traffic in your vicinity. 2 fast movers at your 3 o'clock, 10 miles. Noah looks right. Sure enough, 2 specks against the blue. They're closing fast. Fighters from Whiteman, probably F-22s from the 509th Bomb Wing. Probably coming to look, Noah says. But Elise knows better. Military fighters don't just come look at civilian emergencies. They're here for a reason. Either someone very important is on this plane, or someone recognized her voice on the emergency frequency. The F-22s slide into formation off their right wing, close enough to see the pilots' helmets through their canopies. The lead Raptor edges closer, and the pilot's head turns toward them. Elise keeps her eyes forward. She doesn't want to see who's in that cockpit, doesn't want to know if it's someone from before. Impressive escort, Noah comments. They're not escorting, they're observing. Observing what? She doesn't answer. The right engine temperature climbs another degree, 17 minutes to white man. In the cabin, Brennan watches the fighters through his window. F-22 Raptors. The Air Force doesn't scramble those for just any emergency. His military mind processes the angles. Either there is a security threat, or he looks back at the cockpit door. Through the small window, he can see the captain's profile, light brown hair pulled back in that messy bun, a few curls escaping. The high bridge of her nose, the way she holds her head, perfectly level despite the aircraft's slight bank. He's seen that profile before, not in person, but in photographs. Navy Times, Aviation Week, the articles they pulled from circulation 5 years ago. Holy cow, he whispers. The woman flying this plane isn't just any commercial pilot. She's Commander Elise Hart, the Top Gun instructor who vanished after the accident that killed 2 students, the one they blame for equipment failure, the one who tried to expose something bigger before they silenced her. And now, 5 years later, the same type of failure is happening again. Brennan pulls out his phone, starts recording video. Not of the cabin, of the cockpit door. Evidence. Because whatever happens in the next 15 minutes, someone needs to know who really saved them, or who tried to. 15 minutes to landing, Sonia announces over the PA. Remain in brace position. The aircraft shudders. Not turbulence, something mechanical. The right engine coughs, recovers, coughs again. Right engine surging, Noah calls out, voice pitched higher. Elise's hands move to the fuel panel. Crossfeed valves, boost pumps, she's rerouting fuel trying to smooth the flow. The surging stops, but the temperature spikes. Come on, she whispers, first words that sound like emotion. Give me 10 more minutes. The white man runway appears on the horizon, a thin strip of concrete surrounded by forest. 6,000 feet that look like 600 from this angle. 718, contact Whiteman Tower on 126.2. Switching, Noah says, changing frequencies. Whiteman Tower, Midwest 718, emergency aircraft, 18 miles out. Midwest 718, Whiteman Tower, winds 320 at 12, gusting 18. Runway 19 cleared to land. Emergency equipment standing by. Cleared to land. Simple words that mean everything when you're flying on borrowed time. Elise starts configuring for approach, flaps to 5. The aircraft protests. Asymmetric thrust makes every configuration change a fight. She counters with rudder, keeping them coordinated. Gear down at 8 miles, she says. That's early. We'll burn more fuel. We need the drag. We're coming in hot. Hot. Fast. Energy she'll need to bleed off somehow on that short runway. Noah's never heard a civilian pilot talk about energy management this way. It's all altitude and airspeed to them. But military pilots, especially carrier pilots, think in terms of total energy, potential plus kinetic, the sum that determines whether you live or die. The radio crackles, not ATC, a different frequency bleeding through. Ghost, this is Raptor lead. Visual on your approach. Ghost. Noah's head snaps toward Elise. That's a military call sign. She keys the mic before he can speak. Raptor lead, civilian aircraft, no tactical designation. Copy that, ma'am, but that energy profile, only one person taught it like that. Elise's jaw tightens. Her finger hovers over the transmit button, but she doesn't press it. The F-22 pilot continues, and there's something in his voice, not accusation, recognition, maybe even respect. My father was at Fallon 5 years ago, student in class 7-2. You probably don't remember him. Lieutenant Marcus Webb. The photograph in her wallet, the 2 young pilots. One of them was named Webb. I remember all my students, Elise says quietly, not on the radio, just to herself. The right engine coughs again, harder this time. The temperature needle swings into yellow. 10 miles, Noah announces. On glide path, but they're not on any normal glide path. Elise has them coming in steep, very steep. The vertical speed indicator shows 1,500 feet per minute down, twice the normal rate. That's too fast, Noah says. It's exactly right. She's planning something. Noah can see it in the way she's setting up. This isn't going to be a normal landing. Can't be. They're too heavy, runway's too short, and that right engine won't last through a go-around. 7 miles, flaps 15. The flap motor whines. More drag. The nose drops further. They're coming down like a rock now. A controlled rock, but still a rock. In the cabin, Brennan feels the angle. His inner ear, trained by years at sea, knows this is wrong for a civilian approach, but right for something else, a carrier landing. She's going to fly this 737 like it's hitting the deck of a carrier. No float, no flare, planted on a spot and stand on the brakes. It's insane. It might also be their only chance. 5 miles, gear down. The landing gear rumbles out of the wells. 3 green lights. The drag increases dramatically. Their airspeed bleeds off. 170, 160, 150. Sync rate, the automated voice warns. Sync rate. Elise disconnects the autopilot, takes full manual control. Her left hand grips the yoke, right hand on the throttles. That breathing pattern again, 4444. The F-22s break off, clearing the approach path, but the radio stays active. Midwest 718, White Man Tower, you're cleared to land. Winds gusting to 22 now. A crosswind. Of course, because this wasn't hard enough. 4 miles, flaps 25. The right engine surges, recovers, surges again. The temperature needle touches red. We're losing it, Noah says. I know, counting it down. 3 miles. The runway grows larger, still looks impossibly short. Fire trucks line the taxiways, lights flashing, waiting for them to become a statistic. Flaps 30. Speed 135. Too fast for normal landing, but she needs the energy, needs the momentum to execute whatever she's planning. 2 miles. The right engine coughs, dies, surges back to life. Come on, Elise whispers again. 1 more mile. The threshold approaches. Numbers 19 painted huge on the concrete. The touchdown zone markers. The 1,000-foot boards. All the visual cues pilots use to judge their landing. But Elise isn't looking at those. She's looking at something else. A specific spot on the runway. Not the normal touchdown zone 1,000 feet down. She's aiming for the threshold itself. The very beginning of the runway. 1 mile, speed 128. Still too fast. Noah reaches for the speed brake handle. Don't touch anything, Elise commands. The right engine dies. No surge this time, just silence. The aircraft yaws right as asymmetric thrust disappears. They're gliding now. 1 dead engine, 1 failed. 500 feet. The automated call-outs start. 500. Elise advances the left throttle. The dead engine can't help, but she can use its drag. Differential thrust to help with the crosswind. It's brilliant. It's also incredibly dangerous. 400. The runway rushes up. Through the windscreen, Noah can see every crack in the concrete, every rubber mark from previous landings. 300. Still too high, still too fast. Any normal pilot would go around, but they can't go around. This is it. 200. Elise pulls the left throttle to idle, pushes the nose down. They're diving at the runway now. 100. Noah wants to close his eyes, but can't. His hands grip the armrests. 50. 40. 30. 20. Elise pulls back hard on the yoke. The nose comes up. The main gears slam into the concrete exactly on the threshold. No float, no grace, just controlled impact. The aircraft bounces. Once, twice. She forces it back down, stands on the brakes. The anti-skid system screams. Thrust reversers deploy on the left engine. The plane slews left. She counters with rudder. 4,000 feet of runway left. Speed 100 knots. 3,000 feet. Speed 80 knots. The brakes are smoking now. Noah can smell it through the air system. 2,000 feet. Speed 60 knots. 1,000 feet. Speed 40 knots. 500 feet. Speed 20 knots. They stop with 300 feet of runway remaining. For 5 seconds, nobody moves. Nobody breathes. Then the cabin erupts. Cheering, crying, praying. 236 people realizing they're alive. Midwest 718, welcome to White Man, the tower controller says, and his voice cracks with emotion. Turn right when able, taxi via Alpha to the ramp. Emergency vehicles will follow. Elise reaches for the tiller to start the turn. Her hand is shaking, just slightly. The first sign she's human after all. Captain, Noah says, how did you... She doesn't answer. She's looking out the side window at the F-22 that's rejoined them, flying slow alongside. The pilot gives her a salute. If you were in her position, would you reveal your true expertise or maintain cover? Drop your thoughts below about when hiding your skills becomes dangerous. The radio crackles again. Different frequency. The F-22 pilot's voice, meant just for her. Ma'am, I know you said no tactical designation, but that approach, that was pure Commander Hart, wasn't it? Elise's finger hovers over the transmit button. 5 years of hiding. 5 years of running from a truth that destroyed her career. She keys the mic. Negative. Just Captain Hart. Commercial pilot. A pause. Then, copy that, ma'am. But legends don't disappear. They get buried. And sometimes they resurface exactly when they're needed most. The F-22 breaks away, climbing back toward the blue. Elise taxis toward the ramp, fire trucks surrounding them like an honor guard. Through her side window, she can see maintenance crews already swarming a spot on the tarmac, preparing to examine the engines. She knows what they'll find. The same failure pattern from 5 years ago. The same defective parts that killed her students. The ones she tried to expose before they destroyed her career. But this time, 236 witnesses live to tell about it. As they shut down on the ramp, Elise pulls out her wallet again. Looks at the photo of the 2 young pilots, Webb and Harrison. Both dead because someone decided profit mattered more than lives. Captain, Noah says softly, those pilots in the photo, they were your students? Yes. And the accident, it wasn't pilot error, was it? She turns to look at him, those green eyes carrying 5 years of buried pain. No, it wasn't. The cockpit door opens. Sonia stands there, tears streaming down her face. Captain, the passengers want to thank you. They're asking, evacuate them first. Thank me later. Standard procedure. Even now, especially now, she follows protocol. Because that's what kept them alive. Training. Discipline. The things they teach at Top Gun that never leave you, even when Top Gun leaves you behind. As the slides deploy and passengers begin evacuating, James Brennan stays in his seat. He's still recording, because this isn't over. The landing was just the beginning. He knows what comes next. Investigators, questions, and maybe, finally, truth. His phone battery shows 12%. He sends the video to his daughter, his son's widow, and 3 investigative journalists he knows. The subject line reads, "The ghost of Top Gun just saved 236 lives." Then he adds, "Time to return the favor." Through his window, Brennan watches Captain Elise Hart emerge from the aircraft. She's removed her pilot's cap, and that messy bun has come partially undone, light brown curls framing her face. Even from this distance, he can see the weight she carries. 5 years ago, they destroyed a legend to protect a lie. Today, that legend just proved some truths can't stay buried. The head of the maintenance crew approaches her with a tablet, already showing preliminary engine readings. His face is pale. He's seeing the same signatures she knew would be there. Captain, these readings, this failure pattern, I know what it is, she says quietly, but this should have been caught. These parts were certified by Kellerman Defense Contractors, same as 5 years ago. The maintenance chief's eyes widen. Everyone in aviation knows that name, knows what happened 5 years ago, knows about the instructor who tried to blow the whistle and got burned for it. You're her. You're Commander Hart. I was. Now I'm just a commercial pilot who needs to file a safety report. But it's already too late for just a safety report. 3 black SUVs are approaching fast across the tarmac. Federal plates. FBI or maybe NTSB's Special Investigations Unit. Someone very high up has been watching this situation. Noah emerges from the aircraft behind her. Captain, we need to... Mr. Pierce. She turns to face him fully, and for the first time, he sees the full weight of what she's been carrying. In about 2 minutes, federal investigators are going to separate us. They'll question everything, every decision, every deviation from standard procedure. You saved everyone. I flew outside civilian protocols, used military techniques on a commercial aircraft. That's enough for them to ground me permanently if they want. But the engines were sabotaged, just like 5 years ago. But proving it means fighting Kellerman again. And last time I tried that, 2 students died, and I lost everything. The SUV screeched to a stop. Doors open. 6 agents in dark suits emerge, moving with purpose. Captain Hart, the lead agent calls out, we need to speak with you. Immediately. She squares her shoulders, that military bearing returning. The transformation is remarkable, from weary commercial pilot to naval officer in a heartbeat. Of course, but my first officer and crew debrief with me. Non-negotiable. The agent starts to protest, but something in her voice stops him. This is a woman who has commanded fighter pilots, who has stared death down at Mach 2. A few federal agents don't impress her. Ma'am, we have orders, and I have 236 living passengers who deserve to know their captain won't be silenced again. The word again hangs in the air like a challenge. Brennan has deplaned now, standing with the growing crowd of passengers who refuse to leave. They're forming a protective semicircle around their captain. Veterans, families, even the high school robotics team with their trophy. You want to question her? Brennan calls out to the agents. Do it here, in front of all of us. We deserve to know who's investigating the woman who just saved our lives. The lead agent reaches for his credentials. Sir, this is a federal matter, and we're 236 federal witnesses to whatever you're about to do. More phones come out. Recording, live streaming, the modern world's greatest defense against cover-ups. Instant universal visibility. The agent lowers his hand, speaks into his collar mic. Control, this is Team 1. Situation has evolved. Request guidance. While he waits for a response, the tablet in the maintenance chief's hands pings. New data from the engine telemetry. His face goes from pale to white. Captain Hart, you need to see this. She takes the tablet, scans the data. Her expression doesn't change, but Noah, watching over her shoulder, gasps. Those serial numbers are from the same batch that failed 5 years ago, Elise finishes. Parts that were supposedly destroyed after the investigation. But that means someone reinstalled them, deliberately, on a plane they knew I'd be flying. The crowd has gone silent, every phone still recording, every eye on her. This wasn't random. This was targeted. Someone wanted her dead, or wanted her to fail publicly, finally, completely. To prove that the investigation 5 years ago was right, that she really was a dangerous pilot who shouldn't be flying. Except she didn't fail. She landed a dying aircraft with impossible odds and saved everyone. The agent's collar mic crackles. Whatever he hears makes him stiffen. Captain Hart, I've been instructed to inform you that the NTSB is opening a joint investigation with the Department of Defense Inspector General's office. About today's incident? About today. And about events from 5 years ago at Naval Air Station Fallon. The crowd murmurs. This is bigger than just one emergency landing. Am I under arrest? Elise asks calmly. No, ma'am. In fact, the agent looks uncomfortable. I've been instructed to inform you that Admiral Rebecca Chen sends her regards and wants you to know that, quote, the ghosts are ready to speak. Admiral Chen. Elise's commanding officer from 5 years ago. The one who was forced to sign off on her discharge, the one who told her privately that someday, somehow, the truth would surface. That day has come. Additionally, the agent continues, we've been monitoring communications from someone claiming to have evidence about the original incident. A James Brennan? Brennan steps forward. That's me, former Navy, retired. My son died at Fallon 5 years ago. Not in the accident that killed Captain Hart's students. 2 weeks later. Same engine failure. They covered that one up too. The maintenance chief's tablet pings again. More data flowing in. Not just from this aircraft, from others. A pattern emerging. Captain, he says urgently, I'm seeing similar telemetry flags from 17 other aircraft in the Midwest Airlines fleet. All installed with Kellerman parts in the last 6 months. 17 other flying bombs. Hundreds more potential victims. Elise turns to the federal agent. Ground them. Ground them all now. We don't have authority. She steps closer to him, those green eyes blazing with 5 years of suppressed fury. Agent, I just landed a Boeing 737 with 2 dead engines because someone wanted me silenced. There are 17 more aircraft out there with the same defective parts. You want to wait for clearance? Fine. But when one of them falls out of the sky with another 200 people, their blood is on your paperwork. The agent holds her stare for 3 seconds, then keys his mic. Control, Team 1. Recommend immediate ground stop for all affected aircraft. Authorization, Hart 718. He looks back at her. The order's going out. Fleet-wide ground stop. Relief flashes across her face, gone in an instant. What now? Noah asks. Now we go to the command post they're setting up. We answer every question. We provide every detail. And this time... She looks directly at the cameras still recording. This time, we make sure the truth can't be buried. As they walk toward the waiting vehicles, flanked by federal agents but also by passengers who refuse to disperse, the radio traffic from the tower speaker fills the air. One by one, Midwest flights across the country are being recalled, diverted, grounded, lives being saved by a woman who was destroyed for trying to save lives 5 years ago. The F-22s make one more pass overhead, low, slow. As they pass, they break formation, one pulling vertical, one maintaining level flight. The Missing Man Formation, a tribute reserved for fallen aviators. But Elise Hart isn't fallen, she's rising. The transport van doors open. Before she gets in, Elise turns back to the crowd. Brennan is there, phone still recording, the high school robotics team with their trophy, the military families who were heading home for Christmas. "Thank you," she says simply, "for not letting them make me disappear again." An elderly woman in the crowd calls out, "Honey, we're not letting you go anywhere. You're our guardian angel." "No," Elise responds. "I'm just a pilot who was taught to never leave anyone behind, even when they left me behind." She enters the van. Noah follows. The federal agents close the doors. As the convoy pulls away, Brennan posts his final video clip. It goes viral in minutes. Hashtag Ghost of Top Gun. Heart Landing. #237 lives. Inside the van, Elise pulls out her phone. There's a message waiting, a number she hasn't seen in 5 years. Admiral Chen. The investigation files from Webb and Harrison are being unsealed. Their families never stopped fighting. Neither did I. Stand strong, Commander. Your birds are coming home to roost. Your birds. Her students. The ones who died believing in her, trusting her training, following her lead into defective aircraft. Elise types back, "Not Commander anymore." The response is immediate. "You never stopped being one. We just stopped deserving you." Through the van's window, she watches White Man Air Force Base recede. Somewhere in those hangars are F-22s, descendants of the Super Hornets she once flew. Somewhere in those buildings are pilots who grew up hearing about Commander Hart, the instructor who could teach anyone to fly, who never lost a student until the day she lost 2. The day the system decided profit mattered more than truth. Noah clears his throat. "Captain, can I ask you something?" "Go ahead." "That breathing technique, 4 counts. Where did you learn it?" "A place where you only get one chance to land, where the runway moves and the weather never cooperates, and sometimes your engines fail, but you still have to bring everyone home." Carrier aviation. The USS Theodore Roosevelt, to be specific. 8 deployments, 637 arrested landings, never lost an aircraft. She pauses. "Until I trusted the wrong people on land." The van turns onto the main road leading to the base command center. Through the windshield, they can see news vans already gathering. Someone leaked the story. Good. The more eyes watching, the harder it is to bury truth. "What really happened 5 years ago?" Noah asks. Elise is quiet for a long moment. When she speaks, her voice carries the weight of every day she's lived with the secret. "Lieutenant Marcus Webb and Lieutenant Commander Patricia Harrison. Best students I ever trained. Natural pilots, both of them. The kind you maybe see once in a career." She pulls out her wallet, shows him the photo properly. 2 young faces, bright with possibility. "Day of the incident, we were running aggressor training. They were flying a standard intercept profile when Webb reported engine fluctuations. I told him to return to base, by the book. Every protocol followed." Her voice doesn't break, but something in it bends. "The engine didn't fluctuate. It exploded. Shrapnel took out hydraulics. Webb tried to eject, but the system failed. Same defective parts. Harrison stayed with him, trying to talk him through a dead stick landing. She could have ejected. She could have. She didn't. Said she wasn't leaving her wingman." Elise's fingers trace the photo. They almost made it. Gear down, lined up, on speed. Then the second engine failed. Same defect. They hit 200 yards short of the runway. The van stops at a checkpoint. Guards verify credentials, wave them through. The command center looms ahead, a squat concrete building designed to coordinate responses to disasters. How appropriate. "You investigated," Noah says. "It's not a question. I did what any instructor would do, pulled maintenance records, checked serial numbers, traced parts back to their source, found 17 instances of the same parts failing in non-fatal ways, all covered up with paperwork fixes." Kellerman Defense. Kellerman Defense. $30 billion in contracts at risk if defects were exposed. Cheaper to pay off a few families, destroy a few careers. But you wouldn't stay quiet. I tried going through channels, chain of command, inspector general, even reached out to a senator on the Armed Services Committee. She laughs, but there's no humor in it. Within a week, I was under investigation for training negligence. Within 2 weeks, witnesses were changing their statements. Within a month, I was given a choice: resign quietly or face court-martial for the deaths of my students. So, you resigned. I disappeared, became a commercial pilot, kept my head down, followed civilian protocols, never mentioned my background. She looks out the window at the gathering crowd. Until today, when 2 engines failed in exactly the same way, and I had to choose between staying hidden and saving lives. The van stops at the command center entrance. Through the glass doors, they can see uniforms: Air Force, Navy, FBI, NTSB, all waiting. "Captain," Noah says as they prepare to exit, "Webb's son, the F-22 pilot. He knows you didn't kill his father. How can you be sure? The way he spoke to you on the radio, that wasn't accusation, that was recognition. He's probably been searching for the truth as long as you've been hiding from it." The federal agent opens the van door. "Captain Hart, they're ready for you." She steps out, and flashbulbs explode. Someone leaked her identity. The press knows who she is. Reporters surge forward, shouting questions. "Commander Hart, is it true you were forced out of the Navy? Captain, did Kellerman target you specifically? Will you testify about the cover-up?" She walks through them without answering, but her presence speaks volumes. Back straight, shoulders square, that military bearing fully restored. This isn't a broken woman hiding from her past. This is a warrior returning to finish a fight. Inside the command center, the crowd is different, quieter, more dangerous. These are the people who make decisions that affect millions. The ones who decided 5 years ago that Elise Hart needed to disappear. But there's one face she didn't expect. Admiral Rebecca Chen. 61 years old, 4 stars on her shoulders, and the same steel in her spine that made her the first woman to command a carrier strike group. "Commander Hart, I'm not a commander anymore, Admiral. You are to me." Chen steps forward, and against all protocol, embraces her. "I'm sorry for all of it, for not fighting harder, for letting them win. You did what you could. No, I did what I was ordered. There's a difference." Chen steps back, addresses the room. "Ladies and gentlemen, 5 years ago, we failed one of our finest officers. Today, she saved 236 lives despite our failure. The least we can do is listen." A man in an expensive suit steps forward. "Admiral, I represent Kellerman Defense, and you can represent them from outside." Chen cuts him off. "This is a federal investigation, not a corporate board meeting. Our legal team can wait. Mr. Kellerman has had 5 years to prepare his defense. Commander Hart gets to speak first." The lawyer starts to protest, but 2 Air Force Security Forces members escort him out. His phone is already ringing. The corporate machine's starting to spin, but it's too late. The story is out. The evidence is spreading. And in this room, for the first time in 5 years, Elise Hart gets to tell the truth. She sits at the head of the conference table, Noah beside her, Admiral Chen across from her. The investigators ready their recorders. "State your name for the record." "Captain Elise Hart." "Commercial pilot, Midwest Airlines." "Former commander, United States Navy." "Qualified FA-18 Super Hornet instructor pilot, graduate of the United States Navy Fighter Weapons School." "You're here regarding the incident." "I'm here regarding multiple incidents spanning 5 years, resulting in the deaths of at least 6 service members and nearly resulting in 236 more deaths today." The room goes silent. "Commander Hart," Admiral Chen says formally, "tell us everything." And finally, after 5 years of silence, she does. Outside the conference room, passengers from Flight 7018 maintain their vigil. They've been joined by others, families of pilots who died in suspicious crashes, maintenance workers who were fired for asking questions, journalists who had stories killed, all waiting for truth to finally break free. James Brennan stands at the front of the crowd, his phone ready. He's been contacted by 12 news organizations, 3 documentary makers, and a congressional staffer. He's turned them all down. He's waiting for Elise Hart to finish her testimony, because when she does, when the truth is finally on record, he has one more video to share, the one from 5 years ago. His son's final flight recorder, pulled from the wreckage, showing the same engine failure pattern. The one the Navy said was corrupted. the one he's kept hidden, waiting for the right moment. That moment is now. Inside the conference room, Elise reaches the end of her initial statement. The investigators are pale. The implications are staggering. Systematic fraud, cover-ups, possibly hundreds of defective aircraft still in service. Commander Hart, the lead NTSB investigator, says, "What you're alleging is documented." She pulls out a flash drive. Maintenance records, serial numbers, correspondence between Kellerman and Navy procurement. I've kept copies of everything. For 5 years? For when this day came, when the failures couldn't be hidden anymore. When people would finally listen. Admiral Chen leans forward. "There's something else you should all know. 1 hour ago, we received word from the Pentagon. The Secretary of Defense has ordered a full review of all Kellerman contracts, effective immediately." The room erupts. Phones ring, messages ping, the consequences cascading outward, but Elise just sits quietly, looking at the photo of her 2 dead students. "We got them," she whispers. "Webb, Harrison, we finally got them." Noah puts a hand on her shoulder. "You saved everyone today." "No, today the truth saved everyone. I just refuse to let it stay buried any longer." The lead investigator stands. "Captain Hart, we'll need you to remain available for further questioning. But I want you to know, the preliminary evidence supports everything you've claimed. You were right 5 years ago, and you were right today. I was right about the defects, but I was wrong about one thing." "What's that?" "I thought disappearing would keep me safe, but it just let them hurt more people." She stands, facing the room full of officials. "So, here's what happens now. Full transparency. Every document, every testimony, every piece of evidence goes public. No classified stamps, no corporate privacy claims. The families deserve to know what killed their loved ones." That's not how investigations typically... This isn't a typical investigation. This is a reckoning. Admiral Chen stands as well. "Commander Hart is right. We've hidden behind procedure long enough. The president has been briefed. He's ordering full disclosure. Through the window they can see more news vans arriving. The story is spreading faster than anyone can control. There's one more thing," Elise says. "The F-22 pilot today, Webb's son. I want to speak with him. That can be arranged, not officially, not as part of the investigation, as someone who loved his father as much as I did." The room goes quiet again. This isn't about parts and procedures anymore. It's about people, the ones lost, the ones saved, the ones still searching for answers. A knock at the door. An aide enters, whispers to Admiral Chen. Her expression changes. "Commander, there's someone here to see you." The door opens wider. A young man in a flight suit enters. Captain James Webb Jr., F-22 pilot, son of a ghost. He stops 3 feet from Elise. They stand facing each other, past and present, loss and survival, everything that went wrong, and the chance to make it right. "Ma'am," he says, voice thick with emotion, "I've been looking for you for 5 years. Your father was a good man, a great pilot. I know, just like I know you tried to save him. My mother, she never believed the official report. She died 2 years ago, still fighting for the truth. Another ghost, another casualty of the cover-up. I'm sorry. Don't be. You gave us the truth today. That landing, broadcast live, everyone watching, they can't hide anymore." He reaches into his pocket, pulls out a challenge coin. "This was my father's, from Top Gun. He'd want you to have it." She takes the coin, feels its weight, remembers the day she gave it to Marcus Webb, told him he had earned his place among the best. "No," she says, handing it back. "You keep it. But remember what it means, not just excellence in flying, excellence in truth, even when that truth costs everything." The young pilot nods, eyes wet. "Yes, ma'am." "There are 17 more aircraft out there with those parts," she continues. "We need to find them all." "Already in motion," Admiral Chen confirms. "Ground stop is expanding. Every Kellerman part is being tracked." Through the window, the sun is setting. Golden light spills across the tarmac where Flight 718 sits silent, its engines cold, their secrets exposed. The command center's main screen lights up with a map of the United States. Red dots appear, 17 aircraft scattered across the country, each one carrying Kellerman parts, each one a potential disaster. "We have 3 still airborne," the NTSB coordinator announces. "Miami to Seattle, Denver to Boston, San Diego to Chicago, all being diverted to nearest suitable airports. Elise studies the screen. Her trained eye catches something others might miss. The San Diego flight. What's their fuel status? The coordinator checks. 6,000 pounds? Why? They're a diversion airport. That's Salt Lake City? Affirmative. Check the weather. Fingers fly across keyboards. The weather radar appears. A massive winter storm bearing down on Utah. They'll never make it through that, Elise says. Not if their engines fail. They need somewhere closer. There's nothing closer with a runway long enough. There is. She points to a spot on the map. Nellis Air Force Base, Nevada. That's an active military installation. They don't take civilian. They do now. Admiral Chen picks up a secure phone. This is Admiral Chen. Authorization code Tango 77. I need the Nellis commander immediately. While she makes the call, Elise's phone buzzes. A text from an unknown number. She opens it, and her blood runs cold. You should have stayed quiet. This isn't over. K. Kellerman. Richard Kellerman himself, CEO of the defense contractor empire. She shows it to Noah. He immediately signals the FBI agents. Threat assessment team now, one agent says, taking her phone. We're tracing this. But Elise isn't worried about threats. She's worried about those 3 planes still in the air. I need to talk to those pilots, she says. They need to know what to watch for. That's not protocol. Protocol got my students killed. She stands, faces the room. Those pilots are flying with defective parts. They need to know the failure signatures, the warning signs, what to do when not, if the engines fail. Admiral Chen hangs up her phone. Nellis is ready to receive the San Diego flight, and Commander Hart is right. Put her on with those aircraft. The communications officer hesitates, then patches her through. United Flight 892, this is Captain Elise Hart, Midwest 718. How do you hear me? Captain Hart, 5x5. We heard about your landing. Everything okay? Listen carefully. You're carrying the same defective parts that cause my engine failures. When it happens, and it will happen, you'll see temperature spikes first, then compressor stalls. Don't attempt restart. It makes it worse. Copy that. What else? The failure cascade takes about 18 minutes from first indication. You need to be on the ground in 15. No delays, no holds. When you see the first spike, declare emergency immediately. She walks them through everything, the signatures, the procedures, the energy management techniques that saved Flight 719. 3 sets of pilots, listening to someone who's been where they're heading. One more thing, she adds. Trust your training, but trust your instincts more. If something feels wrong, it probably is. Roger that, Captain Hart. And ma'am, thanks for not staying quiet. As the connection closes, James Brennan enters the command center. The guards try to stop him, but Admiral Chen waves him through. Mr. Brennan, you said you had evidence? He holds up a small device. Flight data recorder, from my son's aircraft. Not the one they said was corrupted. The backup unit they didn't know existed. The room goes still. Where did you get this? Me? The NTSB lead asks. My son installed it himself. Paranoia, he called it. Said if anything happened to him, he wanted the truth preserved. Brennan hands it over. 5 years, I've waited for someone to care enough to look at it. The technicians immediately begin connecting it to their systems. Data flows across screens. Altitude, speed, engine parameters, and there it is, the exact same failure pattern. This is from 2 weeks after the Webb-Harrison crash, the technician says. Identical signature, which means Kellerman knew, Admiral Chen says. They knew the parts were failing and kept installing them. It's worse than that, Brennan says. He pulls out a folder, weathered and worn. My son was investigating the crashes. He'd found something. The night before he died, he called me, said he had proof that someone inside the Navy was facilitating the cover-up. Who? He never got to tell me, but he said it went all the way to the lights flicker, then die. Emergency power kicks in, bathing everything in red. What's happening? Noah asks. The security chief's radio crackles. We've lost main power. Backup generators are running, but our communications are being jammed. Elise moves to the window. Through the glass, she sees black SUVs surrounding the building. Not federal plates. Private security. Kellerman, she says, they're trying to stop us. They can't just... They've got $30 billion in contracts at stake. They can and will do whatever it takes. Admiral Chen turns to the security chief. Lock us down. No one in or out without my authorization. Yes, ma'am. And get me a satellite phone. If they're jamming us, we go around them. Outside, Elise can see the crowd of passengers from Flight 718 facing off with the private security. Phones out, recording everything. The modern defense against corporate power, witnesses with cameras. Her phone, now in FBI custody, pings again. The agent checking it frowns. Captain Hart, you need to see this. It's another message from Kellerman, but this time, it's not a threat. It's a photo, her apartment, her car, her parents' house in Idaho. They're threatening my family. We'll get protection to them immediately, the FBI agent says. But Elise is already thinking 3 moves ahead. Kellerman doesn't make empty threats. He's desperate, and desperate men make mistakes. Let me talk to him, she says. Absolutely not. He reached out to me. That means he wants something. Let's find out what. Admiral Chen considers. Put him on speaker. Full recording. The FBI agent dials the number. It rings once. Ms. Hart. The voice is cold, cultured. Richard Kellerman, billionaire defense contractor. I thought we had an understanding 5 years ago. The understanding was based on lies. The understanding was based on practicality. National security requires sacrifices. It requires honesty. Your parts are killing people. Isolated incidents, statistically insignificant. Tell that to the families. I'm more interested in telling you something. Stop now, and your parents in Boise remain safe. Your brother in Denver keeps his job at Lockheed. Your life continues. My life ended 5 years ago when you killed my students. Your students died because they pushed inferior equipment beyond its limits. The room tenses, everyone hearing the admission, the callousness. Inferior equipment you provided, Elise states clearly. Equipment you knew was defective. Prove it. I don't have to. The evidence speaks for itself. 17 aircraft grounded. Federal investigation opened. Your stock price is already dropping. There's a pause. When Kellerman speaks again, his voice has edge. You have no idea what you're interfering with. Those contracts keep America's defense industry running. You're jeopardizing national security for your personal vendetta. I'm jeopardizing your profit margin for the truth. The truth? The truth is that without companies like mine, America has no defense. You want to destroy me? You destroy thousands of jobs, hundreds of programs, decades of advancement. I want accountability. You want revenge. I want my students back. But since I can't have that, I'll settle for justice. The line crackles. Outside, sirens approach. Real federal vehicles, not private security. This isn't over, Ms. Hart. No, Mr. Kellerman. It's just beginning. The line goes dead. Immediately, the FBI agent starts coordinating arrest warrants. We've got enough for corporate fraud, conspiracy, threatening federal witnesses. The main screen flashes. Breaking news. A CNN banner. Kellerman defense CFO turns whistleblower. The volume comes up. A woman in a suit, face hidden, voice disguised, speaking to a reporter. I've worked for Kellerman for 15 years. I've seen the reports, the cover-ups, the payments to silence families. I can't stay quiet anymore. Captain Hart is right. We knew. We all knew. The room erupts. This is the break they needed. An insider confirming everything. Admiral Chen's satellite phone rings. She answers, listens, her face grave. Understood, Mr. President. Yes, sir. Immediately. She hangs up. The President is ordering a complete suspension of all Kellerman contracts pending investigation. And Commander Hart, he wants to speak with you personally. I'm not a commander anymore. You are now. He's ordering your immediate reinstatement with full back pay and benefits. Apparently, your discharge was illegally processed. The Secretary of the Navy is resigning over it. The weight of it hits Elise. 5 years of exile ending in 5 minutes. But there's no time to process. The radar screen shows the 3 diverted flights. The first is beginning descent into Nellis. United 892 is 15 minutes out, the coordinator announces. They're reporting engine temperature fluctuations. Here we go again. Put me through to them. The connection crackles to life. United 892, this is Hart. What are your indications? Right engine running hot, getting compressor stalls, just like you said. Time since first indication, 4 minutes. You've got 11 more, maybe. What's your energy state? Flight level 240, 280 knots. She does the calculation instantly. You'll make Nellis, but it'll be close. Start your descent now. Don't wait for ATC clearance. That's not... Captain, I'm standing next to Admiral Chen in the NTSB lead. You have clearance. Descend now. Roger. Descending. Through the command center speakers, they can hear the pilots working. Professional, calm, but with an undertone of urgency. 8 minutes, Elise says. How's the engine? Degrading. Getting surges? Reduce thrust gradually. Don't shock it. Copy. 6 minutes. 5, 4. Nellis in sight, the pilot reports. You're too high. You need to lose energy fast. Speed brakes? Negative. Too much drag. Slip it. Slip a 737. Cross control. Right rudder, left aileron. It'll feel wrong, but it works. There's a pause, then, holy, it's working. We're coming down. 2 minutes. Engine's failing. Let it fail. You've got the field made. 1 minute. Runway in sight. Gear down. Nail the touchdown point. You won't get a second chance. 30 seconds. Everyone in the command center holds their breath. The radar shows the aircraft on final approach. Touchdown! Cheers erupt. Another save. But there are still 2 more aircraft out there. Denver flight is diverting to Peterson Air Force Base, the coordinator reports. Miami flight to MacDill. Both military fields, both with long runways and emergency equipment. Admiral Chen has been busy. Over the next hour, both aircraft land safely, each one fighting degrading engines, each one guided by Elise's voice, her experience, her refusal to let Kellerman claim any more victims. When the last plane is down, the room finally relaxes. 348 more lives saved. The power suddenly returns. Communications come back online, and with them, a flood of messages. The story has gone beyond viral. It's global. Every major news outlet, every social media platform, everyone talking about the ghost of Top Gun who refused to stay buried. Captain Hart, the FBI agent approaches. We've arrested Richard Kellerman. He was trying to board a private jet to the Cayman Islands. Justice. Finally. There's more, the agent continues. Based on the CFO's testimony and the evidence you preserved, we're looking at potential criminal charges for at least 47 individuals. This is going to reshape the entire defense contracting industry. Noah, who has been quiet through all of this, finally speaks. So, what happens now? To you, I mean. Elise looks around the room, at Admiral Chen, who never stopped believing, at Brennan, who never stopped fighting, at the screen showing 17 grounded aircraft, their passengers safe. Now I have a choice to make. The Navy wants you back, Admiral Chen says. Full reinstatement, your choice of assignment. You could be instructing at Top Gun within a week. Midwest Airlines has already called, Noah adds. They're offering you chief pilot, full autonomy to redesign their training program. 2 paths, both honorable, both a form of redemption. But Elise is looking at something else. The list of names on the screen, not the living, the dead. 6 confirmed from military crashes. How many more from civilian flights they haven't connected yet? There's a third option, she says. Independent investigation. Every crash, every incident, every suspicious failure in the last decade. Find them all. Give every family the truth they deserve. That's a massive undertaking, Admiral Chen says. Yes, it is. James Brennan steps forward. You won't do it alone. I've been contacted by 63 families since the story broke, all with questions about crashes, all willing to help. And the whistleblower network inside the defense companies, the FBI agent adds. After today, people are ready to talk. Elise nods. This feels right. Not returning to the Navy, that chapter is closed. Not just flying commercial, that's too small. But this, hunting the truth, protecting future lives, giving voices to the ghosts, this is what her students would want. I'll need resources. The president mentioned something about a special commission, Admiral Chen says. Congressionally funded, independent, answerable only to the families and the truth. The Hart Commission, Brennan suggests, has a nice ring to it. Elise almost smiles. Webb Harrison Commission, after the first one's brave enough to die for the truth. The room goes quiet, respecting the moment. Then her phone, returned by the FBI, rings. Unknown number. Hello? Captain Hart? This is Captain Sarah Mitchell, United 892. We're on the ground at Nellis. I wanted to thank you. Just doing what needed to be done. No, you did more than that. You stood up when everyone else stayed silent. You gave us the knowledge to save ourselves. That's not just doing your job. That's heroism. Heroism is what my students showed when they tried to save each other. I'm just trying to honor their memory. You're doing more than that. You're ensuring it never happens again. After the call ends, the room begins to empty. The immediate crisis is over. The investigation will take months, maybe years. But the crucial part, the breaking of the silence, is done. Noah approaches her one last time. Captain, flying with you today, it was an honor. You did well, Mr. Pierce. When the pressure came, you stayed calm, trusted me even when nothing made sense. You saved us all. We saved each other. That's what crews do. He nods, understanding. Will I see you again? Probably not in a cockpit, but if you ever have questions, doubts, if you ever see something that doesn't look right, you call me. Yes, ma'am. As Noah leaves, Admiral Chen approaches. Elise, there's something else. The F-22 pilot, young Webb. He's requested a meeting, private, just the two of you. Where? He's waiting outside, has something to give you. Elise walks out of the command center into the evening air. The sun has set completely now, stars beginning to appear. Captain James Webb Jr. stands by his staff car, still in his flight suit. Ma'am? Captain? He reaches into the car, pulls out a wooden box. My mother saved everything. Dad's journals, his notes, his recordings. She knew someday someone would care enough to look. He hands her the box. There's something in there you need to see. Elise opens it carefully. Inside are notebooks, USB drives, and a sealed envelope with her name on it. He wrote that the night before he died, Webb Jr. says. Mom never opened it. Said it was meant for you. With trembling fingers, Elise opens the envelope. Inside, Marcus Webb's handwriting. Commander Hart, if you're reading this, something's happened to me. The engines aren't right. I've documented everything. Serial numbers, failure patterns, test results. It's all here. But more importantly, I want you to know, whatever happens, it's not your fault. You taught us to fly with integrity, to trust our instruments and our instincts. That's what I'm doing now. If these engines fail, know that I'll fly them as you taught me, all the way to the ground if necessary, never giving up, never leaving my wingman. You gave us wings, ma'am. How we use them is on us, not you. With respect and admiration, Marcus Webb. P.S. Harrison agrees. We've talked about it. If something happens to us, find the truth. Don't let them bury it like they're trying to bury the problem. Elise has to stop reading. The tears she's held back for 5 years finally come. He knew, she whispers. They both did. They flew anyway because that's what warriors do. They face the danger so others don't have to. Webb Jr. renders a perfect salute. Thank you for finishing their mission, ma'am. She returns it for the first time in 5 years. It was my honor, Captain. As he drives away, Elise stands alone in the darkness, holding the box of evidence. Above her, a commercial flight passes over, lights blinking steadily. Safe. Protected by the truth finally revealed. Her phone buzzes, a message from Admiral Chen. The President wants to meet you tomorrow, Oval Office, 900. Tomorrow, she'll face the nation's Commander-in-Chief. Tomorrow, she'll begin building the commission that will investigate every suspicious crash. Tomorrow, she'll continue fighting for the ghosts who can't fight for themselves. But tonight, she allows herself one moment of peace. She looks up at the stars, the same stars she used to navigate by when flying off carriers, the same stars her students saw in their final moments. We got them, she says to the night sky. Webb, Harrison, all of them. We finally got them. A shooting star streaks across the darkness. Some would call it coincidence. Elise prefers to think of it as acknowledgement, a signal from the ghosts that they can rest now. The truth is free. She walks back toward the command center where Brennan waits with other families, where investigators prepare to unravel years of lies, where justice, delayed but not denied, begins its slow march forward. Behind her, on the runway, Flight 718 sits silent, a monument to what one person can do when they refuse to let truth die. Its engines are cold now, their secrets exposed, their danger ended. But Elise Hart's engine, the one that drives her to protect, to reveal, to fight, burns hotter than ever. The families need answers. The future needs protection. The ghosts need peace. And Commander Elise Hart, the ghost of Top Gun who refused to stay buried, will make sure they get all three. In her pocket, the challenge coin from Marcus Webb catches the light. On one side, the Top Gun emblem. On the other, words that now carry new meaning. Victory through honor, not victory through silence, not through covering up failures, not through protecting profits over people. Victory through honor, the real Top Gun way, the way she'll continue flying, with or without wings, for as long as truth needs a pilot. As she enters the building, the crowd parts respectfully. These people, passengers, families, fellow pilots, they understand what she's done, what she's sacrificed, what she's won. James Brennan steps forward, extends his hand. "Commander Hart, ready to begin?" She shakes it firmly. "Mr. Brennan, I've been ready for 5 years." Together they walk toward the conference room, where stacks of files wait. Years of suspicious crashes, unexplained failures, silenced families. Each file a ghost, each ghost a mission. And Elise Hart, trained to never leave anyone behind, prepares to bring them all home. The work will be long, the opposition fierce, the cost high, but for the first time in 5 years, she's not running from the truth. She's flying straight toward it, and this time, nothing will stop her from landing it safely. Heroes don't need uniforms, they need truth.
Thank you for watching our EV story. This channel shares stories of simple women who are often underestimated. So, if you enjoy quiet strength and powerful story, please take a moment to like, subscribe, and stay with us. See you soon in the next story.